Void Hunter is going to be insane in Season of the Deep. In this video, I'm going to show you an incredible Void Hunter build for hard content, end-game content like Grandmaster Nightfalls in Season 21. I'll show you the build, I'll show you the mods, I'll show you the exotic, the weapons, and how it all works with the new seasonal artifact. Let's go. With Destiny's new This Week at Bungie that released on the 18th, they let us know all the seasonal perks from the artifact, and it's crazy. These are going to be some of the most overpowered perks I think we've ever had since the fusion rifle perks even. While the arc buffs are also crazy, I'm really excited for that. The void buffs just seem perfect for in-game hard content, and here's why. Look at all these things we can stack on top of each other, especially in column 3. Unto the breach, defeating a void debuff target creates a void breach while your void subclass is equipped. All you have to do is debuff them and then defeat them, which is basically giving everybody Echo of Cessation, where defeating a volatile target grants a void breach, but this is even easier. It's just a void debuffed, so it doesn't have to be volatile. It could be suppressed, it could be weakened, any of that, and you get a void breach. And then in column 4, protective breach. Picking up a void breach gives you an overshield or refreshes your existing overshield. That's crazy. Counter charge, which works for everybody, not just void. Gain a stack of armor charge when you stun a champion. That's going to be cool. And then supernova in column 5, picking up a void breach causes your next source of void damage to create a large weakening pulse. And then what I've built this whole build around is squad goals. Performing a finisher while you have Devour grants Devour to nearby allies when your void subclass is equipped. You can give your whole team Devour now. So therefore, we've built this around finishing combatants, and I've put on the Aeon Swifts with Sect of Insight. When you use a finisher on an elite, you generate special ammo for your fire team. When you use a finisher on a boss or a mini boss, you generate heavy ammo for your fire team. And then that paired with special finisher. Finishers generate special ammo for the whole fire team, even more special ammo. And then also running Echo of Cessation, even though you already have the defeating volatile targets creates a void breach. I don't know if this will create 2 void breaches. It might. These might stack, which would be crazy. Or it might just do 1 still. But the first part, finisher, final blows create a burst of void damage that causes nearby combatants to become volatile. You finish one little guy, you go invisible, everybody around goes volatile. You finish the next one, everybody explodes. It's going to be insane, all these finishers. So with that said, talking about how great Aeon Swift on Void Hunter is going to be, let's talk about the subclass really quick. Spectral Blades is getting buffed. You get 20% more damage resistance coming this season while you're in Spectral Blades, and also it does 20% more damage. So I'm going to be testing this out. I'm really excited about this. Have a roaming super and a Grandmaster Nightfall is going to be really fun. Gambler's Dodge to get my melee back. Snare Bomb, but I don't use Snare Bomb a ton. I typically just use Trapper's Ambush to do the quick fall, because the quick fall is just a little more reliable where you can land it. And I've worn Omnioculus so much that I'm more comfortable with Trapper's Ambush. This smoke bomb weakens targets, and so you'll be able to use this smoke bomb, weaken stuff, and then once they're down close to dying, then you can finish them and start your whole finishing loop. Vortex Grenade is great for doing a ton of damage to a lot of bad guys, and I like this or Suppressor Grenade with this build. Just to do more void debuffs, I would use Suppressor Grenade, but in order to make our weapons volatile now this season, since we don't have volatile flow with the seasonal artifact, we're gonna have to use Echo of Instability. Defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds to your void weapons. You don't defeat as many targets with Suppressor Grenades, so I'm going with Vortex. Then I already talked about Trapper's Ambush with Quick Fall. Vanishing Step dodging makes you invisible. That's my main way of going invisible besides finishing or besides quick fall. Already talked about Echo of Cessation. Echo of Starvation. This is important to have on so you have Devour when you do a finisher. Picking up a Void Breach or an Overpower grants Devour. And it's also going to give you an Overshield. So you get Devour and an Overshield now if you have that new perk in your artifact. And then you have to make sure you have Devour when you go up for your finisher, so then you can give your whole team Devour. Echo of Obscurity. Finisher final blows grant invisibility. This is just so you can go up, do your finisher, then run away and be safe in hard content. Right now, this is grayed out because Trapper's Ambush only has 1 fragment slot, but next season it's going to have 2. And so we'll be able to have 4 fragments. And so with that, I'll use Echo of Instability. Defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds to your void weapons. So this way you can make things volatile, get them void debuffed, finish them, and just have a crazy loop of void suppression and weakening and invisibility, overshields, Devour for everybody. For the stats on this build, I always like to have 100 resilience for hard in-game content. So 100 resilience, as much mobility as you can get without sacrificing at least 70 discipline, at least 70 strength. So if you can only have 70 mobility with 70 discipline, 70 strength, that's still good. It will all still feel great together, especially if you can get around 70 and then use something like Font of Focus to get your grenades to be more like 100 discipline. And grenades are going to be even more important this coming season because we'll have to use Echo of Instability, like I said. Then for the mods, Heavy Ammo Scout, Heavy Ammo Finder, Void Siphon. Then on my Aeons, Bolstering Detonation grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a grenade. Getting that class ability back is really important to have that dodge to go invisible. And then also it creates an orb after you do the kill. But then Focusing Strike grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a melee attack, just getting that class ability back faster. Font of Focus, when you have an armor charge, you get plus 30 discipline. Then obviously make sure you select Sect of Insight on your Aeons so you can get that special ammo and heavy ammo. And then for the chest piece, I typically go with all resistance mods on here just to play it safe in hard content. But for this build specifically, I want Charged Up to get an extra armor charge because I'm going to be doing so many finishers and consuming stacks of armor charge. I want to have as many as I can, plus some resistances. And then on the legs, Void Scavenger to get more ammo out of the bricks that we're making, Void Weapon Surge, and stacks on stacks. Picking up an orb gives you 2 armor charges instead of just 1. So having these 2 is really important. And then Reaper, after using your dodge, your next kill will spawn an Orb of Power, Time Dilation to keep your armor charges for a little bit longer, and then Special Finisher. Finishers generate special ammo for the whole fire team. So when you do a finisher on a miner, if you have 3 armor charges, you'll create a brick of special ammo. But then also with Aeons, you'll also create a brick of special ammo. So you're making 2 bricks every finisher, which leads us to our weapons. Wave Splitter is going to be insane. You're going to have so much special ammo from Aeons and from special finisher that I don't think you're ever going to use any other weapon. And this season we have Overload Trace Rifle. Uninterrupted fire from your equipped trace rifle causes the beam to stun combatants, delaying ability. Blah, 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 blah. It's strong against overload champions. They're always overcharged when that modifier is active. So you can use this against overload champions this season and they're overcharged. It's going to make this weapon insane. So with that, definitely be able to run double special with this build. But in order to stun unstoppables, I got a hand cannon, and really you can use whatever hand cannon because probably just going to be using this to stun the unstoppables. Or if it's barrier, we can use a Rufus or really any auto rifle to stun barriers. And then for the heavy slot, I still really love Retrofit Escapade with 4th times the charm target lock. But there's going to be a ton of weapons that are overcharged all season. Next to the first column, all auto rifles, all hand cannons, all scout rifles, all trace rifles, all glaives are always overcharged. But then also with overcharged armory, if this works like Origin Hones last season, then all of these Origin trait weapons are going to be always overcharged, which this is a ton of weapons to use. I'm super stoked for this Void Hunter, and I think your teammates are going to love you if you run Aeons, and you'll make everybody invisible. You'll give everybody Overshield and Devour. It's just going to be insane for hard content. Thank you so much for watching. Seriously appreciate it. See you next time. Peace.